Hello everyone. Welcome to day 46 of learning data science. And so far, what we have did, we have completed the Python. And yes, if you want to go through the Python and steps, so you can look into my videos. We have completed the Python in almost 35 to 36 days. And then we started with EDA. Okay. And EDA, it's something around 6 days. And then after that, we will start with data pre-processing, right? So right now, what we have learned, we have covered all the four steps which is performed in EDA. First moment business decision, which is the measures of central tendency, which is mean, median, mode. Second moment of business decision, which is measures of dispersion, which is variance, standard deviation, and range. We have covered with third moment business decision, which is skewness. And again, what is skewness? I want you guys to write it on the comment section. Fourth moment of business decision, we discussed about kurtosis. Okay. And basically, what is skewness is? Skewness means like it tells you the symmetry of your distribution, means like how your data points are distributed, whether it's symmetrical, whether it's non-symmetrical, whether it's skewed on the very right side or left side. And what is kurtosis? Kurtosis, again, it's the peakness of the distribution. By the peak of the graph, you can tell ki whether that particular data contains outliers or not. Okay. So these all things are there. Now what we will do, we will discuss about the graphs. Okay. Few graphs are there. We will discuss about that as well. Okay. So let me open my whiteboard once. Okay. So basically, what we are doing, we are learning about graphs. Okay. We are learning about graphs. And the very first point in graphs, we will learn about univariate graph. Univariate, univariate graphs. Okay. So what all comes under univariate graphs is the very first thing which comes under univariate graphs is the very first thing is histogram. Okay. Or wait, I will use this. We are learning about graphs. Okay. And the very first thing, what will we learn about univariate graphs? Univariate graphs. Again, on the univariate graphs, what is the first thing we will be learning about is histogram. Okay. In my previous video, we have learned about histogram. So we will give a quick recall. Okay. Histogram. And again, I want you guys to write it on the chat that what is the primary purpose of this and what is the secondary purpose. Okay. So what is primary purpose? Primary purpose is to understand the shape of distribution. And what's the secondary purpose? Come on, write it on the comment section. Secondary purpose is to identify the outliers. Okay. And what do you mean by univariate graphs? What do you mean by univariate graphs? Graphs which are plotted using only one feature. Again, what is a feature? Feature means column. Okay. So in graphs, univariate graph is there, means graphs which are plotted using only one feature. Okay. On the very first, we learn about histogram. Okay. And the second thing is, and the second graph we will be learning today is box plot. And again, what is the primary purpose of box plot? Primary purpose is to identify the outliers. And what is the secondary purpose? Secondary purpose to understand the shape of distribution. Okay. So in graphs, we are learning today what is univariate graphs. And in univariate graphs, there is histogram, there is box plot, and one more plot is there. We'll be learning is QQ plot. Okay. And the third thing is QQ plot. Okay. So these are the things. And what I will be doing, like here, uh, so in histogram, okay, in histogram, when we learn about histogram, what we will see whenever we plot a graph, whenever we plot a graph, so histogram, it's somewhere around, it looks like this. Okay, this is histogram. And when we draw a line, when we draw a line, and if we cut this line into two halves, okay, if we cut this line into two halves, what we can see a tail here. First, it determines the shape of distribution, the shape of distribution. Okay, it determines the shape of how the shape of distribution is, means like you can be able to see whether my graph is symmetrical or not. Okay, by the data points itself, you can see that how my shape is being determined with my data points. And secondary purpose is to identify the outliers. If there is outliers in the graph, then obviously it will be skewness. There will be skewness. So I want you guys to write it on the comment section. What type of skewness is this? I want you guys to write what type of skewness is this. Okay. You have understood the shape. Okay. I want to write what type of skewness is this. You can see here. You can see here. It is skewed towards the right. It is skewed towards the right. Then means it is positive skewed. It is positive skewed, which means it follows positive skewness. And whenever there is positive skewness, my mean is equal to, oh, sorry, my mean is greater than median and it's greater than mode. Okay, understood? And my skewness value will be greater than zero. My skewness value will be greater than zero. So you have understood the shape of distribution. In shape of the distribution, you are able to tell whether it's positive skewed, whether it's negative skewed. Okay, you are able to tell those. And when you determine whether it's positive skewness, you are able to determine its mean also. You can predict, okay, the mean is obviously the greatest among median and mode, and the value of skewness will be greater than zero. And my outliers are on the right side of the data set. Okay, so these all things were there pertaining to histogram. It's like what you can talk about histogram. Now we will talk about box plot. Okay, so here is the interesting topic, the box plot. Box plot. So how box plot looks like this? The box plot will look like somewhere similar to like this. my box plot will look similar to like this, okay? And one more thing, it will be divided into two halves like this. And what do we call this? What do we call this? We call this as minimum. This is the minimum value, okay? And what do we call this? We call this maximum value. I hope you guys are making this plot and noting down these things. I don't want you guys to just sit idly on your sofa and watch this video and feel drowsy. Okay, because you will end up learning nothing, and you will not end up learning your skills, upgrading your skills, and you will not get a job. Okay, so you better just write it. And what is this very first value called? Okay, this is Q1. This is Q1. This is Q2. And what's this? This is Q3. Okay, this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. Okay, this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. And when we take the value from minimum till Q1, when we take the value from minimum till Q1, so what will be the value? It will be the 25% of our data. 25% of our data will be there. When we take the value from minimum till Q1. When we take the value from minimum till Q2, then what it will be there? My 50% of data will be there. 50% of 5. My 50% of data will be there. And when we move from minimum to Q3, then what it will be there? 75% of data will be there. 75% of data will be there. And if we move from minimum till maximum, so I want you guys to guess what it will be there. Yes, you are right. 100% of data will be there. 100% of data will be there. Okay. And from Q1 to Q2, how many values will be there? I want you guys to just answer it. What will be the values from Q1 to Q2? What will be the value? Yes, you are right. It will be 25%. And when we will move from Q2 to Q3, how many data will be there? Yes, you are right. 25% of data will be there. And when we move from Q3 till Q max, then how many data will be there? Yes, you are right. 25% of data will be there. So if you will sum of this, 25 plus 25 plus 25 is equal to 100. So these datas are there, right? Okay. So now this is basically about box plot. The box plot will look like this. Okay. And if I am having a bubble here, my bubble is there. Here is my bubbles. If you find bubbles, if you find bubbles, okay. So what this bubbles basically means? So what these bubbles basically means? This bubble means outliers. This bubble means outliers. This bubble means outliers. If you are having a bubbles here, and it doesn't matter whether the bubble is on the very right side of the maximum values or the bubble sits somewhere around here, the bubbles is here, here is bubbles, then also you can say that my data is having outliers. Okay. Then also you can say my data is having outliers. Okay. So what all things we learn in box plot? How is the box plot defined? Box plot will look similar like this. Box is will be there. And again, it doesn't matter whether the box is horizontal or vertical. It will give the same thing. If the bubbles is behind the minimum value, if the bubbles is behind the maximum value, then what it will do? It will be the outliers. Okay. So now what I will be doing, I will just a new whiteboard is there. Okay. And I will just here make, I will just quickly make here box plot. Okay. And now I want you guys to just tell me what is this? Yes, this is minimum. What is this? This is Q1. What is this? Yes, this is Q2. What is this? Yes, this is Q3. This is Q3 and this is maximum. And this Q2 is also known as median, the middlemost value, because it holds the percentage which is 50%. Okay. So this is my median. Q2 is my median. Okay. And Q1 is also known as lower quartile. Q2 is known as inner quartile. And Q3 is known as upper quartile. I want you guys to just remember these things. Q1 means lower quartile, Q2 means inner quartile, Q3 means upper quartile. Okay. And one more thing, interesting thing is there, IQR. What do you mean by IQR? IQR. IQR is inter quartile range. And how do we determine the interquartile range? It is Q3 minus, it's Q3 minus Q1. So what is IQR? IQR is interquartile range, and my interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. How do we identify is? We identify by Q2 minus Q1. And in my previous, means like I have showed you that if the value is above maximum, if there is a outlier, if there is a outlier here, okay, and also if there is a outlier here, and if there is a bubbles. Okay. So how do we calculate the outlier? How do we calculate the outlier? If my outliers is in my maximum value, so the formula for calculating IQR is Q3 Q3 plus plus 1.5 1.5 1.5 times the value of IQR. I hope you guys are making the notes and writing these things. So this is if you want to calculate the outliers. Why we are writing this? If any value is above maximum, then it is then it is considered, sorry, then it is considered as outliers or suspected outliers. And how do we calculate? And how do we calculate these outliers? How do we calculate these outliers? We calculate these outliers by this formula. Okay. And if my value and if any value is below minimum, if any value is below minimum, this is considered as outliers. And how do we calculate it? Okay. How do we calculate? Here minimum you can see. Okay. Here what we have written. How do we calculate? We calculate Q3 plus 1.5 times of IQR. Okay. Maximum means Q3 will be there plus 1.5 times of IQR. Here in case of minimum, we will write Q1 Q1 instead of plus, it will be minus 1.5 times of IQR value. How do we calculate? We calculate these outliers, the suspected outliers by which is minimum. And again, how it will be calculated when you will see the graph. When you will see the graph, if you will see the bubbles which is on the minimum part, then you should write like this. When it is maximum part, you should write like this. Okay. And if you have to confirm, if you have to confirm, okay, if you have to confirm outliers value, here it was suspected. It's like you will get the suspected value. And if you want to get the confirm outliers value, so what you will do? So what you will do? In case of minimum, in case of minimum, the formula will be, come on, say Q1 minus 3 times of IQR. And in terms of maximum, what will be there? Only thing which it will change is it will be Q3. Instead of Q1, we will be writing Q3. Instead of minus, it will be plus and 3IQR. Three IQR will be there. Okay. So I hope you have understood till now these things, that what is univariate plot, uh, how we can determine the outliers, how we can calculate the outliers. Okay, these all things. Okay, you guys can note these things. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this and you can note it. Okay, so I'm giving you 1 minute time. Just take the screenshot and take a note of it. Then we'll be stopping here, and tomorrow we will be starting with rest of the plots. Okay, so you have to practice it daily, unless if you have to land a job. If you will not practice, you will not be able to perform good in the projects. So these are the basics, and you should understand the basic. Okay, why to understand the basics? For example, if you're driving a car, obviously you should know the basic, that this is the gear, where is the accelerator, where is the brake, how do we control the steering. These all things you should know, and these all things are the basics. You are not yet driving a car, you are just learning where is accelerator, where is brakes, where is gears. These all things you are learning, so you should know. Otherwise, what will happen when you will be developing the project? So it might happen, instead of brake, you are pushing accelerator. So it will be a nightmare. Means like you see somebody is there. Means like you are in a hilly area. And if it's a sharp turn and there is a deep valley, and instead of brake, you are putting accelerator, so you will die. Okay. So this is basic, so you should learn it. So tomorrow we'll be doing the same thing. We will be starting with the bivariate plots. What is the meaning of bivariate plots? Okay. So till then, I want you guys to just keep practicing it. Keep practicing what we have learned till now. Okay. So bye bye. Take care. See you.